know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the go. Whoa. Let's start the show. Youth on the go. Whoa. Let's start the show. Whoa. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Good morning to all of our radio listeners or viewers via Von Radio's Facebook page and YouTube channel. And welcome to this edition of Youth on the Go here on Von Radio. I am Zahnela Claxton from the Ministry of Education and Talent. Today it is indeed a pleasure for me to be here on this beautiful Saturday morning here on Von Radio. I am maybe a little bit ahead of myself because after Saturday comes Sunday. And then what happens on Monday? Well, our teachers come back. And so we have our back to school convocation on Monday. And listeners and viewers, that means that the countdown is definitely on because school starts for our students shortly thereafter. And so just a quick recap before I go into the back to school convocation details. Last week we saw the Leadership Summit. Our school leaders from across the system were in attendance, and they had the opportunity to get some insights, have some discussions, make some contributions as we chart the course for the upcoming school year. The theme for the School Leadership Summit is the theme that will also be reflected for the rest of the back to school activities and into the new school year. The theme is Own the Journey, Reclaiming Purpose, Restoring Passion, Renewing Practice. Own the Journey, Reclaiming Purpose, Restoring Passion, Renewing Practice. And as I said, we had our leaders, our principals, our supervisors, our deputy principals, and all the persons were in attendance, and we had the chance to go through some of the nuances of school leadership and, as I said, make meaningful contributions towards the upcoming school year. I want to, from the onset, thank our school leaders, many of whom were not able to take a full break. There are several things that have to happen behind the scenes during the various regular scheduled breaks, listeners and viewers, and so I want to say thank you to our school leaders who came, and they were set on ensuring that we were able to navigate the upcoming school year in a way that is pleasing to us. We also were looking forward to Monday, as I said, and we're encouraging all persons within our school community, and that is not just so we're speaking not only to teachers, but we're speaking to all persons within the school community to be in attendance at the back to school convocation, and the convocation starts at 8:30 a.m. on Monday. So registration begins at 8. Registration will last for about 30 minutes. By 8:25 we will have 25 minutes for registration. By 8:25 persons should be seated at NEPAC ready to go, and then we will continue into the morning's proceedings commencing at 8:30 a.m. Once again, all school staff members are expected to join, and we expect to jumpstart the new school year with inspiration and renewed energy. So we look forward to that, and we hope that you are geared up and ready, members of our school staff, and we look forward to seeing you on Monday for the back to school convocation. We also are looking forward to a week of activities and preparation, and so parents, we encourage you to keep connected to your school, your child's assigned school, the school that you registered for, or the school that your child has been, the school that you were accepted to, or the school that your child has been attending, and make sure you stay tuned so that you can get a sense of what is expected for the new school year. And so we want to make sure that we provide some clarity from the onset. There are always many exciting things that happen during the school year, but we want to ensure that among all the excitement that we do not lose sight of why we're here, what we're doing, and where we want to go. And so it is a continuous journey, and I must commend the team at the Department of Education for the theme and the vision of ensuring that we understand that this is part of a journey that we are all on and that we can own that process. So we'll be looking at purpose, passion, and practice. Parents, as we navigate the start of the new school year, I also, as I speak to our teachers and school leaders and members of the school community, I also want to, from the onset, crave your support as you help your children to navigate the next few weeks as they prepare for back to school. One of the things that I spoke to last week, and I think that it is important that we look at it again this week for, in support of the theme, is that we, as a society, we've noticed that students have lost some of the core values and morals that we expect that will be inculcated and supported at home. And so we're asking you to ensure that you instill in them, not just verbally, not just telling them, but in ensuring that it is the practice in your home to be respectful. And so respect, as I said, is something children want to do what they want to do, and that is actually developmentally appropriate, right? It's developmentally appropriate that children would want to know to do what they want to do. But it is also, the onus is also on us as the adults in their lives to help them to navigate what is correct. So it is nature, it's human nature for children to push boundaries, to want to try what they want to try. It is, the onus is on us to put a stop to it and to help them to see what is correct. And I must say that it can't be half done, so it can't be just the school. The expectation that at the school they should be corrected, at the school they should be, and they should be, they will be, but we also want you to do the same at home so that children can have some consistency. One of the things that is truth is that when there is inconsistency, children find a way to manipulate situations. So they know what our parents, they know what your triggers are, and they know what to tell you to get you upset, and they do that, and then you come and you support them in the sometimes the wrongdoing, and then you notice that what they were saying might not have been the complete picture. And so, as I said, that is the nature of them, of children, of within their developmental sphere. That is what is expected. But our expectation is that we should respond appropriately, we should stay ahead of it, and we should make sure that we're paying keen attention. They are even, I think, more advanced and more exposed because of their level of exposure with technology and social media. Most children have access to even some form of a social media account. They have access to cell phones, they have access to tablets, some of them are on YouTube, and there are pop-ups, and so they see so many things that you as parents would not have seen when you were younger, when you were growing up. The older adults, the grandparents, they definitely had no exposure to. Some of them have not been exposed to even now, and some not until later in life. And so because we know that so many things have changed, we cannot sit here and complain about the fact that so many things have changed. What we have to do is to use our critical thinking skills and really pay keen attention, as I said, and make the necessary adjustments as we go along. So that is my plea as we look forward enthusiastically, and we're, as I said, we're so excited about getting everyone in on Monday, at least our school community in on Monday, the members outside of the students, the other members of the school community. We also are aware of the fact that we will need parental support from the onset. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back.
Sugar City St. Kitts, keep it sweet. Keep listening to Vaughn.
It's time, come on, rise and shine. You know, I know we're gonna have passes quickly. You don't wanna miss it. So turn up the radio. It's youth on the go. Youth on the go. Oh, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Oh, let's start the show. Oh, let's go, let's go, let's go. I will learn new things. I will be creative. Grab your gears, let's gather around. An adventure is always waiting. There's storytelling news for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Whoa, let's start the show. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Good morning to all of our radio listeners, our viewers on Von Radio's Facebook page and YouTube channel, and welcome to this edition of Youth on the Go here on Von Radio. I am Zahnela Claxton from the Ministry of Education and Talent. As I said, it is indeed a pleasure to be here with you on this beautiful Saturday morning. We are, 2 days away? Yeah, just about 2 days away from a little over 48 hours away from the start of our back to school convocation for the adults in our school community. So as I said, the only persons within the school community who will not be expected to be present are our students, but all other members of our school community are expected to be present, and we look forward to preparing using the next week to prepare for our students who will be expected back on September 1st, 2025. I was speaking to the fact that we are expecting support from the parents and from the children's immediate community at home system structure. That would be guardians, that would be grandparents, aunts, uncles, the persons who have immediate impact on our students. We're expecting your support, and just as we expect all of our parents and everyone else to support, we expect members of the community. I know that in the old days, we would hear about the community, and it takes a village to raise a child, and that is still the reality. But I think that sometimes, because of some of the changes that have taken place within our society, that we are sometimes a bit apprehensive to discipline, to correct, to redirect. And I don't know where we had that change in mindset and that change in the way in which the approach and perhaps the expectation. And I know that some persons perhaps who didn't like to be corrected when they were younger don't want to have their children being corrected. But I think that correction, constructive criticism, correction in love is very, 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 very important. And so we look forward to that support from you. And there are various versions to this poem that I'm about to share with you, but the concept, I think, remains the same. Children learn what they live. So whatever they're experiencing within their homes, whatever they're experiencing within their immediate communities, those are the things that would impact them and shape the way that they view the world. And it says it, Children Learn What They Live by Dorothy Law Noel. And it says, if children live with criticism, they learn to condemn. If children live with hostility, they learn to fight. If children live with fear, they learn to be apprehensive. If children live with pity, they learn to feel sorry for themselves. If children live with ridicule, they learn to be shy. If children live with jealousy, they learn to feel envy. If children live with shame, they learn to feel guilty. If children live with encouragement, they learn confidence. If children live with praise, they learn appreciation. If children live with acceptance, they learn to love. If children live with approval, they learn to like themselves. If children live with recognition, they learn it is good to have a goal. If children live with sharing, they learn generosity. If children live with honesty, they learn truthfulness. If children live with fairness, they learn justice. If children live with kindness and consideration, they learn respect. If children live with security, they learn to have faith in themselves and in those around them. If children live with friendliness, they learn the world is a nice place in which to live. And once again, we hope that we can get all of our school community, the whole school community, on board with understanding that the example set is example followed, both at home and at school. And what you do within your own school space, your home space, will have an impact on the school spaces. So parents, some persons may be doing what is right, but then it becomes a challenge because when the other children come in and they don't understand what it means to respect each other, they don't understand what it means to be kind, they don't understand what it means to show appreciation, they don't understand what it means to listen or to act appropriately, it becomes another level of challenge because that has an impact on the other children in the class. While we are trying our best to improve the student experience and to improve the school culture and to improve the sector's culture, we also know that we can't do it without the active involvement of our parents. So that is a bit about the back to school convocation. I digressed just a little, but that is the synopsis of the back to school convocation. Just a quick update as well. We want to recognize and say good morning this morning to our students and teachers who are currently at Carifesta in Barbados. They are there among a lot of other young persons across the region, and we want to say a very special good morning to them. They're representing, and they represented us very well yesterday. Actually, some of them found themselves in the opening parade session for Carifesta, and they are part of a youth forum that's taking place alongside Carifesta. And so we have students from the Gingerland Secondary School and from the Charlestown Secondary School and Nevis Sixth Form. We have Mariah Daniel and Jadenique Griffin, and they are coming from the Gingerland Secondary School along with their teacher, Mrs. Ella Wangeshi Powell. And then from the Charlestown Secondary School, we have Malachi Lestrade and Excellence Nisbet and Jadiel Joseph, who attends the Nevis Sixth Form. They are accompanied by Mr. Kermani Ketwi-Webb of the, as I said, the Charlestown Secondary School. They will be part of the Student Jamboree Initiative, and as I said, they will bring, they've already started to bring some of our creativity and talents. I noted that Jadenique was in her Moko Jumbi attire yesterday, and she was on stilts during the opening parade, and very interestingly, her dad was also there on stilts at the opening parade. So Jadenique exhibited her talents and skills there. And I noted that Mariah was wearing her clown attire and presenting components of the clown dance. So we appreciate the students for coming on board and the teachers and for representing us with the highest level of distinction during Carifesta this year, which as I said, is being held in Barbados. So commendations and kudos to them. I also want to commend, because we didn't get to last week, want to commend the Department of Sports. The Department of Sports closed out the 2025 summer camp this year, and they had the opportunity to meet with during the course of this week. The students had the chance to meet some members of the St. Kitts Nevis Patriots, and even had a bit of a practice session and interaction with them. So special congratulations to Senior Sports Officer Colin Kezran Archibald and the St. Kitts SKN Patriots team manager Daria Batley. They were the ones who coordinated the initiative, and we also saw the players Jid Gooley and Navin Bidasi. They spent the day with the cricketers, as I said, and had a very, very pleasant interaction. The summer camps have come to an end, as we know, as we stated. The students will be preparing for back to school, and we hope that they had an enriched experience during the summer, and we look forward to continuing to engage our student in sports for the rest of the calendar year and the academic year. We know that the calendar year and the academic year are slightly different. The academic year starts in September, and so it will run through July, and the calendar year, of course, is what we have January to December. So we have several activities planned to continue to engage our students in the various ways and to ensure that they're keeping active, and we hope that we can get everyone on board to provide the necessary support for them in the various initiatives as well. As I said, we want to ensure that we're providing spaces where our students can have exposure to various initiatives and various activities. They might not take to all of them, they might not prefer all of them, but a part of growing up and navigating the early years is to find out what students like, and for students themselves to find out what they like, so that they can shape the future that they see themselves having. So some students will like sports, and some students will like music, and some students would like robotics and STEM activities, and some students would like a combination of those activities, and then they will have to determine which ones are priorities for them and which ones they want to pursue further, because while we are holistically developing and exposing, we know that as they grow older they have to decide, or they will decide, to specialize or to focus on one key area. It's the same in any arena, in any entity, and so even within a sport, some students will play multiple sports, and as they get older they'll decide which sport they prefer. Or let's say in a particular sport, some students may be all-arounders, and then some will have to become specialists over time. Some students were able to, for example, in track and field, sprint and do middle and long distance races throughout their primary and most of their secondary career. But as their secondary years draw to a close, they start looking at focusing on one or two races or events for most part that they would try to hone in on that craft and be able to excel in. And so the onus is on us, as I said, as a system, as a community, to provide various opportunities for students to determine whether or not those are things that they're particularly interested in, whether or not they're activities that they like, and then go through the process from there on in. So once again, we crave your indulgence, we crave your support in all of these activities going forward. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back.
When VON vibrates, the whole Caribbean must shake.
860 AM, the Powerhouse.
It's time, come on, rise and shine. You know, I know we're gonna have a great time. And now we're past it quickly, you don't wanna miss it. So turn up the radio, it's Youth on the Go. Youth on the Go. Oh, let's start the show. Oh, Youth on the Go. Oh, let's start the show. Oh, let's go. I will learn new things. I will be creative. Grab a gears, let's gather round. An adventure is always waiting. This storytelling news for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the go. Whoa. Let's start the show. Youth on the go. Whoa. Let's start the show. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Good morning to all of our radio listeners or viewers on Von Radio's Facebook page and YouTube channel. And welcome to this edition of Youth on the Go here on Von Radio. I am Zahnela Claxton from the Ministry of Education et al. And as I said earlier, this is an exciting time, even though most of the year contains some level of excitement. This is a very exciting time for us. It's the start of the new school year. We're at the cusp of that, and there are several activities that will be taking place, and we want to, as we count down to the teachers coming on Monday and we count down to seeing the lovely students on the following Monday, we want to make sure that we provide the parents with some support and guidance. Parents, I want to start off by saying that for those who, there are some persons who have been registering late for enrollment. We opened registration we started registration process as early as February, with the official opening of registration in May, and we are still seeing an influx of persons coming in last week, and we anticipate that we will see some this week. We just want to encourage you to ensure that you have all documents with you when you come for registration. We will not be accepting incomplete documents. We want to make sure the documents are completed and ready to be processed, and we'll continue, the Department of Education will continue to review the documents, but we also want to highlight that for those who brought their documents in late, that you exercise some patience, because the process, as I said, started in May, and so we have to ensure that the documents are thoroughly reviewed to ensure that the students are properly placed, and that we have all the information that we need to provide a safe environment for your child going forward. So once again, I want to remind all parents, especially those who are, and some persons may have just migrated, or some of your situation changed recently, and so you have to make some changes, and that is part of life, and we acknowledge that, we appreciate that. But I would just want to, on behalf of the team at the department, to encourage you to kindly ensure that you have everything ready when you get there. Parents, we know that you want everything done immediately. That is not possible if we are seeking to have some level of efficiency, because the documents have to be reviewed to make sure that we have all of the information that we need. And in order for that review to take place, all of the documents have to be included in the application packet. And so, as I said, so that's just the registration. Non-nationals, please also make sure that you have all of your documents in order. You'll be guided through the process accordingly. We are going to go through a bit, to talk a bit again about preparing our students. You have 1 week, parents, before the start of the new year, and each level of students, and I'd like to zero in on the preschoolers, because it's always very difficult for preschoolers who have been in daycare or have been at home for the past 3 years to transition. And so during the course of the week, the schools will be open and preparing, the teachers will be preparing for back to school, and so make sure that you have things in place to have some positive engagement with the school. Last week I said that the schools closed because they were closed last week. The schools are closed. Please make sure that you drive past and point out those things, kind of psychologically getting your children ready. Next week, as I said, we will have for the preschools, they'll have an engagement, a meet the teacher engagement. You'll get to meet your supervisor or your teacher and let the children get to navigate the space a little. And so please make sure that you get to do that and you participate in that. Then we look at the fact that that's happening externally, meaning that's what you're looking at the school level. But once again, it's important for you parents to start making sure that certain things are in place, such as establishing routines. Last week I said it, this week I'm going to repeat it. The late nights have to stop, because if we don't put measures in place for the students to have a routine, it will make it very difficult for our teachers when they get to school. This is at every level, but especially at the preschool level where they're just coming into a routine. We do not expect perfection, by the way, so please understand that we don't expect them to come and everything to be perfect, but we're trying to help you, to help your child, and of course everyone else by extension, to be able to transition relatively smoothly. And this goes for all parents, as I said. Consistent routines, especially morning routines and evening routines, because the school day, the schools will establish the routines over the next few weeks. They will understand, for example, at the preschool level, whether it's small group time or whether whatever the various activities are within the daily routine, they will get that in short order. They will understand what it means to come in the morning and sign in. That's part of the daily routine. They come in the morning and they sign in, and so those are the things they will automatically do those things over time. But we're encouraging you to make sure that you set consistent morning and evening routines. Morning routines should include some breakfast, something for them to eat, giving them enough time to wake up and get something to eat and get ready. I know that you parents have so much going on and sometimes it gets difficult, and so that's why I'm encouraging you to be intentional and mindful about setting those routines. Part of the routine is to set a cutoff time for them to go to bed. And I heard two children speaking the other day, and one said they were out at an activity, and the activity went past their bedtime. The particular children, their bedtime was 7 o'clock, and one said, "Oh my, it's getting close to my bedtime." And the other said, "What time is your bedtime?" And it's always good to hear children talking, because you're listening and you're hearing that in their homes they have routines. And the other one said, 7, my bedtime is 7, and it's almost 7. And so when you hear those things, you're encouraged, because you know that the children themselves have gotten to a place of understanding when they're supposed to go to bed and understanding what the expectation is. Sometimes it takes children a little while to wind down, to get to sleep. And so if you establish that 6 p.m. you take your shower so that you can be in bed for 7, or 7 p.m. you take your shower so you can be in bed for 8, just establish that routine. And I always encourage parents, because you're busy and you have so many things happening, to set alarms on your phone to keep you on track as well. And sometimes those alarms can help the children, because when they hear certain special sounds, they know what that means. And that will carry through for a very, very long time. As they get older, into the high school levels, sometimes it's more difficult to have an 8 p.m. Bedtime, because of homework and after-school activities and other activities going on. But I still encourage parents as much as possible to allow children to get to bed as early as they can, because lack of sleep also affects their ability to focus during the school day, and so we encourage you to do that. We also, for the younger children, we ask you to start encouraging independence. What does that mean? Allowing them to get dressed, allowing them to have options of picking out their clothes. And some children pick out really arbitrary clothes, and so some parents are nervous about that. So what I've often said to them is, start off by picking 2 or 3 outfits that you are okay with as a parent, and letting them select which of the outfits they want to use for that day. So that helps you. Once again, it's difficult if you're rushing and you have so many things going on, but these are routines that help your children to be able to be more independent, to be able to be decisive, to be able to make choices, to get some of the skills that are being taught in school reinforced, or to be ahead of those skills. So preschool or any level is not just about the academic, but it's about the social and other areas that will help your children to navigate. Allow them to tidy up, so when they're finished playing, that they pick up their toys, that you don't necessarily have to come and pick it up, because at their preschools they will have to pick up their toys. They have to clean up after themselves after. So it has, again, once again, it helps to build those skills. If possible, talk about preschool. What are they expecting? What are they most excited about? Try your best to bring it across positively, because sometimes we use school in a threatening way. Parents, oh, can't wait for you to go to school so that they can make you sit down and write, or can't wait for you to go to school. So those are the things that cause fear in children, instill fear in children, and sometimes it makes it difficult for them to be able to learn and focus. We encourage you also to read any books or watch any shows that I know some of the things that the characters that they watch may have their first day at school or their first day at preschool. That's a good way to start. You can find most of them on YouTube. Anyway, you do a search and you can have them sit down and look at that. This one, I like this one personally, creating a goodbye ritual. Have a simple, consistent goodbye ritual. Once again, children at that age, routines, they thrive on routines, and the routines help them to feel secure. And so, especially if you're dropping them off at school, some of them I know, because of your schedules, they may have to go on the bus. A private bus may pick them up, but even saying goodbye to them to get on the bus, having that ritual or routine, whether it could be something as simple as a hug, a wave, or something that you say to them, or something that you say together. I personally like and have practiced affirmations. So you close out your interaction with an affirmation. You find some adjectives or some words or that you want to instill in their minds and help them to navigate their day. So I am special, I am unique, I am loved, I am beautiful, you know, my name is, and they can say their names, and they learn to do that with eloquence. So those are things that you can do as part of your getting ready and getting out in the morning, or getting to school if you get to take them there. So as you walk up to the door, you can say the ritual or the routine, or the ritual or the affirmation or whatever it is, or as you take them to the bus. Get a good night's sleep, as I said, getting a good night's sleep is important, and so we want to consistently remind you to do that. For the first day, beyond the first day, continue to stay positive. They will make several quote-unquote mistakes. We view them as mistakes. They'll do things that not aligned with common practice, and the same thing that I said at the beginning in relation to making sure that your children are respectful and understand what the expectation is, it also applies here. So staying positive, helping them, encouraging them through even difficult moments. Be patient. Understand that it takes time for children to feel comfortable in a new environment. And as I said, this transcends any level. Children are going to have to learn to find their space, their place in a new space, and yes, certain things that you can do to help them to do so. Maintaining open communication with your child is also very important. So talk about their day. So you're prepared, and that's something that can become part of your routine, your night routine as well, as they're getting ready for bed. How was your day? Or it could be as you greet them after school, so that they can learn to have the conversations and to tell you what went on for them during the day. And parents, please stay involved. Attend your PTA meetings and school events, and stay informed and connected on your child's journey. You ask questions of your teachers, you seek guidance, and I'm not asking for anyone to be confrontational or difficult, because sometimes we encounter that where parents are very aggressive in their way of communicating. That's not what we're asking. We're asking you to keep an open line of communication with your child's teacher and the supervisor, the preschool level principal thereafter, so that we can ensure that we're working in the best interest of the children. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back.
From Queen City, Nevis, this is the powerhouse of the Eastern Caribbean, Vaughn Radio.
It's time, come on, rise and shine. You know, I know we're gonna have a great time. And now we're past it quickly, you don't wanna miss it. So turn up the radio, it's youth on the go. Youth on the go. Oh, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Oh, let's start the show. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I will learn new things. I will be creative. Grab your gears, let's gather around. An adventure is always waiting. There's storytelling news for us, and we always know what's happening. We act, we play, we dance, we sing from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning. Youth on the go. Oh, let's start the show. Oh, youth on the go. Let's start the show. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
All right, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. We are here this morning on this beautiful day, and we are, as I said, counting down the days to back to school. We have the back to school convocation coming on Monday for our school staff, and we are looking forward to seeing them. And while we do the countdown, we are taking a look this week at some of our various levels and how parents can ensure that they're preparing their children for back to school. We want to, I think we spoke a bit about the preschool, the transition to preschool, and a lot of the recommendations for preschool also carry through to primary. So we would encourage you to do the same routines, having them do additional skills. We talked about being able to clean up and pick up after themselves. Now we are looking at things like opening your lunch bag, closing your lunch bag, making sure you're able to get dressed, using the restroom without assistance, because at preschool they get some assistance, and as they navigate to primary, we want them to be able to do that more independently, washing their hands without assistance, activities like that will help them to be able to transition. Like we said, to talk about preschool, the same obtains, talk about kindergarten, and now we want to start ensuring that we, if we haven't been doing so, allow for read aloud time daily, and that helps to build their vocabulary even more, and also to give them the opportunity to get a love for learning. Parents, this is the age where we make or break the learning experience, and so as I stated with the preschool students, we never want to present school, education, going to school as a threat, having school to do schoolwork as a threat, and so we encourage you to create that positive space for them as it relates to school and education. Of course, for children who enjoy, as I said, being on their tablets and engaging with technology so much more than anything else, it's a bit more challenging to keep them engaged, and so we have to create a positive space around school and their education. Keeping it calm, help the parent. It is said that children take cues from their parents. A confident attitude can ease their fears and help them feel more secure. Keep your goodbyes brief. I know that the first few days of kindergarten, you want to drop off and you want to come back, and they'll cry, they will cry. A large percentage of them do cry. And so we have to try to create that, as I said, goodbye routine and maintain it and ensure that because the longer we stay around, the more difficult separation actually is. By the time they get to kindergarten and beyond, we want to be more specific in our conversations. So instead of saying, how was your day? You ask specific questions. What games did you play on the playground? Who did you play with? Because you want to know, to gauge whether they are having positive interaction with their peers. Those types of questions. And then, as I said, keep communicating with teachers and leaders and acknowledging children's feelings, because they will have lots of feelings as they navigate the first few days and weeks of kindergarten. We know, parents, that the back to school time can be very difficult for the children who have gone from not necessarily being in a routine, but now need to be on a routine. And so we want to make sure that we provide the support and the routines as well. All right, so we're looking for, we did preschool, we did primary. The next big jump is secondary, and I think that's a very, very different animal, because they are at a place of high independence. So some of the things that you would not necessarily have to, that you would have to do at preschool and primary school, you wouldn't have to do at secondary school. However, one of the mistakes that are often made is that parents totally withdraw and leave them to be independent to the point of treating them almost like adults. And that transition from primary, where they were so dependent and cuddly, to being totally cut off, also has an emotional impact on our children. So you've already, this does not need to be said, make sure that you have their school supplies ready. Find out, once you've gotten their timetables, talk to them about their routines, when school starts, when school ends, what the expectation is for getting home, the time that they should get home by, because you should be able to calculate how long it takes for them to get home. Students staying out too long after the end of the school day can become a problem as well. So setting those parameters from your household is also very important. Try your best to create a study space for them. It will get very a different level of work expectation, and some days it will get very stressful, and so you want to have a designated, quiet, comfortable space that is distraction free. Organize a calendar for them, your family calendar, and the more you get involved in your children's lives, even at high school, the better it is for them. A lot of emotional and social support is needed. Parents, for those who are starting high school, the next few years, the emotional component as they navigate puberty will be another layer of challenge outside of the academic. And so to have those constant conversations is also important. Talk to them about the things that they're nervous about, that they're anxious about. As I said, encourage them to be independent and take responsibility for their organizing themselves, time management, but also teaching them how to be dependent in terms of who they could rely on or what they would need to provide support for going forward. Building confidence is most important for our secondary school students. Remember, we're preparing them now to go into the world, whether the world of work or to navigate the world independently, and they should be able to do that with confidence. Parents, please stay involved in schools. We see high levels of turnout for the lower levels, for activities. We don't see that same type of turnout for our secondary school students, so we encourage you to remain involved. Get involved in your PTA, attend various events. We don't, as I said, see a high level of turnout for events. Know your contacts, learn who is at the school, who's your child's form teacher, how does that person expect to be communicated with. Stay informed, follow the school's social media pages. Make sure you're connected to EduPage. We can't say enough to our parents. Make sure you're signed on to EduPage so that you can receive the updates, the alerts. You can keep up with your students' grades and things along that line. Foster a healthy environment. So we want to limit overscheduling the students, especially in the first few months of high school as they navigate the new space, and try to promote well-being practices, as I said before. Stay on top of being, trying to get adequate sleep, healthy eating, and trying to get some exercise. We do have PE at the lower forms 1, 2, and 3, to make sure that they keep active, and we're encouraging you parents to keep it going, providing some support in that area. Managing screen time is going to be of utmost importance at the high school because they will be on the devices forever and not realize. And then it creates additional stress for them because they would not be able to do what they need to get done. And so as we prepare for Monday, teachers, school staff, cleaners, ancillary staff, bus drivers, we're looking forward to seeing you all on Monday at NEPAC. From 8 a.m. to 8:25, we'll have registration. And then from 8:30 to 9 o'clock, we look forward to the actual start of from 8:30 onwards, we go into the actual convocation, and we look forward to seeing those levels of interaction from you as we own the journey, reclaiming purpose, restoring passion, renewing practice. And on that note, I wish you all a wonderful week, and I hope that you stay safe and parents keep getting ready so that we can get ready for September 1st, the start of the new school year for students. Have a wonderful week.
It's time, come on, rise and shine. You know, I know we're gonna have a great time. And now we're past it quickly, you don't wanna miss it. So turn up